Weird noises. Why has it failed? Why has it failed? What happened to this game? What happened to Star Wars Battlefront? In today's video, we find out. Games nowadays don't have really a long lifespan, and I don't know if that's a good thing for the developers who are making multiple games. I mean, not multiple games, but games like every year. I guess that's a good thing. It's kind of like the Call of Duty pattern, where the Call of Duties usually they die out after, a year or so, because it's just people have gotten used to it. And I don't really think that was a good thing for Star Wars, but I just feel like there's a few things that they need to change in their upcoming Battlefront 2. One of the main things is a single-player campaign. I honestly was I didn't even think they were gonna just put multiplayer and that was gonna be it. I thought there was gonna be a campaign. I thought Battlefront games, Star Wars games, they just need campaigns. And I don't know how much it would have cost them to make a campaign, but it just didn't feel right. I personally feel like campaigns, especially in Star Wars, kind of give the player they immerse the player. They show the player what they're fighting for, what the player can do, and they just give you that power to take over, the galaxy or defend the galaxy, whether, I don't know what side you'd want to be on, but I just think that gives the player more of a better feeling about the game. Number 2, vehicle combat changes. I think there should be a plethora of vehicle changes. I think they did it wrong in this game. I think they need to follow Battlefield, except for Battlefield 1. I don't know why EA is doing that and making them... I don't know why EA is doing that, making them into like, oh, we'll just, spawn into a plane that's already flying. I miss the fact that we could just get into a vehicle, hit X or hit E on PC, get in that vehicle, we ran to it, we worked for it, we're getting into it. I love the fact that we could take off from the airfield or land and repair in the old battlefields. I love that, and I think that's a thing that needs to come back. That really, they need to scatter vehicles around the map and make it just feel, it needs to feel right. None of these tokens anymore. I hated all the tokens scattered across the map, and it's just something that needs to go, and I think players would agree with me. Number 3. The loadout system in Battlefront, I think, was really thin. The star cards added a decent amount of customization, but it's difficult to get any real sense of variation between the different weapons and the situations in which you are encouraged to use them. I like the star cards in Battlefront. I like them, but I knew there was always just something missing. One of the things is classes. I don't think they should have any sort of loadout. I think they should go back to classes. Give each person a reason to be on the battlefield. Don't just let them spawn with whatever weapon, whatever you want to do. I think they should go back to the old ways and give each character a reason to be on the battlefield, like an engineer, a medic. It's kind of like self-explanatory. I don't know why they didn't do that, but they just kind of wanted to give the players independence, I guess, in this game. Some say they should take a page from Overwatch and mix in several different classes types for each side, giving, them a reason to exist in battle and build turrets, hold capture points and stuff, which I think is a good idea. I distinctly remember back in Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2, you had the shock troopers, you could be a droideka, you just be all kinds of crazy things in those games. You could be different characters. These different characters weren't just cosmetic, they actually did things, and I thought that was one of the coolest things about Battlefront 1 and 2. This just goes back to what I was saying. Classes would be a lot better. Cosmetic changes, like, oh, you leveled up to rank 70, now you get the cool outfit now. That's cool. Number 4. Battlefront is understandably reliant on the original trilogy for content like Luke, Leia, Han, Darth Vader, and even Dengar, which are all heroes available to play in Battlefront, which is great and all, but they could have added additions from Rogue One, Force Awakens, Star Wars Rebels, The Clone Wars, heck, even characters from the prequels. They weren't even that terrible, but if we compare it to, let's say, Star Wars Battlefront 2, if you guys all remember the signature Mos Eisley map we used to play heroes versus villains on, my gosh, I remember those days, those pub stomping days, and PS2 on that freaking, I don't know, Wi-Fi, whatever it was called, adapter. You had so many heroes to work with. You had Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, Mace Windu, Kai Adamuti, Ayla Secura, Anakin, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Princess Leia, Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, I already said Obi-Wan Kenobi, but you had Count Dooku, General Grievous, Jango Fett, Darth Maul, Darth Sidious, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, Boba Fett, Anakin Skywalker. This is all different kind of variations of them, but look at all those different heroes in that game. Can we not just take a moment and just think about how great Battlefront 2 was? Number 5. Battlefront DLC season plans were sort of a mess, as you guys probably tell. They were all kind of clean-cut, organized, planned way in advance, so developers could not take any of the players' opinions on future DLCs into factor, but that's usually how it is with all games. They kind of are already, you know, in the process of making DLC because they kind of have to, or it would take them, it'd be, you know, it'd take forever for a DLC to come out, because this isn't easy, they aren't easy to make. I get that, but having become so segmented that it completely transforms the game by the end of the DLC season isn't honestly the best for the game, in my opinion. Number 6. I think it would be helpful for the developers to make new game modes that would stress cooperation and teamwork in a way that wasn't quite as linear as the current modes they have. The return of Galactic Conquest would be a huge feature in Battlefront, the next Battlefront 2, since it had the galaxy-spanning feel of Star Wars and yielded a very believable and linear success path. As you combed your way across planets, it gave you that immense size of Star Wars, and it just gave you so many different options and ways to finish the game and ways to play the game. If you guys don't know what Conquest Mode was in previous Battlefront games, it was where you literally would be in a ship, a huge ship, a destroyer, Star Destroyer, let's say, and you'd go from planet to planet, taking over the planets that are rebel occupied. And if it got to some point where you'd meet one of the rebel destroyers or rebel battleships versus one of your Star Destroyers, you'd be able to go into space and fight from space. That was one of the things. Or for the most part, you'd be fighting on each planet for whoever would take that planet. If rebels won, they'd keep their planet, and that ship would have to go back to where it came from. And it was it's a lot more complex and in detail than that. I don't give it any justice because it's a lot better than what, you know, how I explained it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I like these kind of videos as kind of where I get a little bit serious instead of like my usual self. I haven't done one in a while, so make sure to hit that thumbs up and or subscribe. Really helps me out, and leave a comment down below how you felt about this video and your opinion towards the next Battlefront games and how they should be made. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next one as we continue our journey to find the best game. I don't